I went camping with my friends and stumbled upon a theater troupe performing outdoors. My friend was curious to watch, but I pulled him away. Don't go. That's a ritual drama for the dead, not for the living. Su Jing brought me and some classmates from the dorm to Beidei. We spent 2 nights camping outdoors, grilling barbecue. Then, Su Miao approached me and whispered, "Sister Jiang, I need to go to the restroom, but I'm scared to go alone. Will you come with me?" I grabbed my phone and said, "All right, let's go." In the wilderness, there were no public restrooms, so Su Miao had to find a secluded spot. Perhaps due to fear, she finished quickly. "Sister Jiang, I'm done. Let's go back." Su Miao grabbed my arm to leave, but then she suddenly stopped and pointed into the distance. "It's so lively over there. It sounds like someone's singing." I followed her gaze and saw a group of Peking Opera actors in full costume on a stage, singing. "Hey!" Su Miao let go of my hand and, in a daze, started walking towards them, but I snatched her back. I quickly slapped her pointing hand and swiftly chanted an incantation. "Spirits from 1,000 miles afar, come quickly and enter this body." Su Miao, who had been dazed a second ago, suddenly snapped back to consciousness, scratching her head in confusion. What just happened to me? My mind went completely blank for a moment. I took out a talisman and handed it to her. "You dare to point at anything? In the middle of the night, you shouldn't point at just any place. Moreover, that ritual drama over there is not for the living." The opera stage was set up in the middle of the night with no lights in front of it. The stage entrance was sealed with red lines, and above it, yellow flags and talismans to ward off evil were pasted. This is a ritual drama for the dead, strictly forbidden for outsiders to watch. Once it starts, it cannot be stopped. Beneath the stage are all lingering spirits. You pointed at them, of course they wouldn't be pleased. They'd snatch away your soul if given the chance. Hearing my words, Su Miao's face turned ashen white. "What should we do? Sister Jiang, can we still leave?" I reassured her. "It's nothing. Go back and pack your things. Tell them we won't be staying overnight tonight. I estimate that tonight, spirits from dozens of miles around will come to watch the play. It's best to be cautious. If we stay here for a night, I'm afraid we'll be sick for 3 days when we return." Su Miao chattered all the way back. "Sister Jiang, how do you know so much? And the move you just did was so cool. Are you a Taoist priestess?" I chuckled. "It was just the most basic soul-calling talisman. I'm not a Taoist priestess. I'm just a Ma Zioner. My name is Jiang Fu, a born spiritual medium with a celestial child fate, destined to walk this path. I crossed the threshold of life and death at 15 and began my spiritual practice at 18. I came from Northeast China to Beijing to study. I'm currently a freshman at Beijing Normal University, majoring in folklore. My spiritual path involves over 100 immortal officials, both scholarly and martial, with 100% efficacy. Because I'd only done this kind of work once before, I didn't expect to take on a major case so soon. When Su Jing heard that we had encountered a ritual drama for the dead, she immediately packed her things. "There's a homestay nearby. I'll book it online. Let's leave now." Before we could finish packing, something happened. A woman's shriek, mingling with a man's agonizing cry, pierced the night with an unnerving, ear-splitting terror. I immediately rushed out, instructing Su Jing before I left, "You take them first. I'll go see." After the incident with the Lying Shui River god last time, I had gotten used to carrying my tools everywhere. I hoisted my backpack and ran towards the sounds. Dozens of meters around the stage were already packed with lingering spirits. The dense crowd of ghosts made my scalp tingle. I bravely pushed through, the chilling yin energy brushing past my face, cold to the bone. Honestly, pretending not to see these things really tests one's acting skills. As soon as I reached the front of the stage, I saw several actors playing divine generals and celestial soldiers pressing down on the actor playing the hanged ghost. The actor playing the hanged ghost had a pale face, a bright red fake tongue hanging out long, wearing a vibrant red costume with white sleeves. It looked like 2 strands of white silk wrapped around a man's neck. The man's face was purple from being strangled, gradually turning pale. The woman beside him wasn't much better. Her hands were covered in blood, and she was crying and trembling while holding a pair of scissors. I quickly snatched the scissors from her hand and pressed a talisman to ward off evil onto them. Then I pulled off the sleeves clinging to the man's neck and affixed another talisman. The man, who had been possessed, struggled a few times before stopping. many people fell to the ground, exhausted. Such immense power, even several strong men couldn't hold him down. They quickly got up and thanked me. "Thank you so much, young master. Young master, please take a look at this child. Don't let him be choked to death." The speaker was an uncle around 50 years old, dressed in a costume for a minor ghost role. He must have been the manager. I nodded, squatted down, and checked the man's pulse. His heartbeat was so weak it was almost imperceptible. I took out my acupuncture kit from my backpack, unbuttoned his clothes, and inserted a long needle 3 inches below his navel. This is the Guanyuan acupoint, where the body's primal yin and yang reside, belonging to the Ren meridian, with interaction between the small intestine and the heart. After his heartbeat became distinctly audible again, I performed acupuncture on the Beihui acupoint on the top of his head. The Beihui acupoint is where the 3 yang meridians converge, a key point on the governing meridian. The head is where all yang energies meet, fire rises, and the qi of the 3 yang meridians converges here. I used a 3-edged needle to quickly pierce and withdraw, allowing some blood to flow. A moment later, the man's complexion softened and his breathing calmed. Everyone was overjoyed. "This young master is truly amazing. That technique looks like it belongs to a grandmaster." I smiled awkwardly. How am I a grandmaster? The one who just took action was Elder Bai, my family's immortal healer. At this, they suddenly understood, thanking both the young master and the immortal healer. "So you're a Ma Zioner," one person said with a hint of disdain, so abrupt that I didn't pay attention. I walked straight towards the girl standing nearby. She looked completely lost, as if her soul had left her body. I looked around and finally saw a hazy figure of a girl standing amidst the playful spirits by the Huyuan River, between 2 diamond pillars. Spirits from 1,000 miles away quickly enter your body. This is the most basic soul-calling talisman in folklore, suitable for someone who has just lost their soul. The girl's spirit seemed to sense the call and silently walked towards her body. After bringing her back, I raised my hand to cover the girl's head. Her soul has just returned, and her body won't be stable. Covering the Beihui acupoint can prevent yang energy from continuing to leak out. Then, I drew a hemostatic talisman in the air. The girl's palm had been cut by the scissors, bleeding profusely. She was still terrified and unstable. "Thank you, her boyfriend." "It's nothing. He just lost some yang energy from fright. After he wakes up, he can take a walk around 7 a.m. daily to replenish his yang energy. He should recover in about a week." I put away my acupuncture needles and asked the old man again, "What happened here? Can you tell me a little bit?" Because the ritual drama had stopped, most of the spirits had dispersed, leaving only those who liked to watch the commotion, following in 2s and 3s everywhere. The remaining members of the troupe were cleaning up the aftermath, leaving only the old man and the troublesome young man in front of the stage. The old man, Elder Zhuang, was the head of this troupe. Our opera troupe has just been established. According to industry regulations, a stage-breaking ritual must be performed before the official opening. Everything was proceeding as usual, but we didn't expect someone living to sneak a peek, even breaking in. This disturbed the minor ghost deity, causing it to possess someone and directly attack everyone. No matter how we tried to stop it, we couldn't. The sleeves were like steel pipes. We couldn't remove them no matter what. This is no exaggeration. When people are possessed by evil entities, they gain astonishing strength. Logically, several strong men shouldn't have been unable to restrain one person. But here, surrounded by a multitude of ghosts, yin energy suppressed yang, and people's vital force was greatly diminished. Their usable strength was very limited. Moreover, those sleeves weren't actually steel. It was because everyone was ensnared by an illusion, causing their perceptions to be biased. Elder Zhuang sighed after speaking. "We encountered a ghost deity during the stage-breaking ritual. I'm afraid this new opera troupe." The young man who had been biased against me earlier pointed at the couple with angry eyes. "It's not my fault. These 2 snuck in the middle of the night, even coming here to seek death. Now, great, we're all implicated." The girl, being criticized, had tears welling up in her eyes. "I'm so sorry, we didn't mean to, we were just passing by. My boyfriend said someone was calling him, so he walked over here. I couldn't pull him away." Elder Zhuang coughed. "Zhuo Xuan, don't talk nonsense. It's because we weren't prepared. We can't blame others." Zhuo Xuan was unconvinced and wanted to say something more, but I interrupted him. What he says isn't wrong, but perhaps what you need to guard against isn't just outsiders peeking. I looked around his face. I had something I wanted to say. You need to be more careful of people's hearts. The most taboo thing for ghost deities is dishonesty. If there are ghosts in your heart, ghosts will come to your door. He felt guilty at my words, his confidence gone, and he stammered, You, don't talk nonsense here, we don't need you here. Go quickly. As he spoke, he reached out to push me. I leaned aside, unable to suppress a cold laugh. I wasn't here to save you in the first place. No need to chase me away, I have my own legs to walk. I helped the girl lift the unconscious man, and we left. Elder Zhuang's lips twitched, wanting to say something, but in the end, he remained silent. I turned back, took a piece of paper from my bag, and handed it to him. This is my phone number. Call me if anything happens. I'm not a saint, but this is how our profession works. Today I saved people and got involved in this, so I'm tied to this karma. Zhuo Xuan was still shouting from behind. Under this sky, with so many Taoist temples and monasteries, it's not your turn, a Ma Zioner, to act. In the night, a loud slap echoed. I paused for a moment, a smirk playing on my lips. In my ear was the trembling voice of Huang Jiling. Damn it, this kid's mouth is like he's been eating sh*t. I just slapped him hard with the sole of my shoe. This was my personal messenger spirit. I called Su Jing, telling her to make comfortable arrangements for everyone. As she drove to pick us up, I learned the names of the couple. The man was Hu Cheng and the woman was Qi Quan. Both were recent graduates from Tianjin University. Qi Quan said, "Isn't today the weekend? And Mid-Autumn Festival is coming soon. I thought Tianjin wasn't far from Beidei, so I came to see my aunt. My boyfriend came with me too. Lately, I've had trouble sleeping at night, so he came to take a walk with me. I didn't expect to encounter something like this." Her voice choked up again. I comforted her. It's not your fault. There are people with malicious intentions in that troupe. Those entities are good at sensing the most negative things and best at deceiving people. On the other side, the yin energy field over there is too strong. It will attract the living. At night, don't call out other people's full names and don't turn back to answer if someone calls you, let alone follow them. But I also have to say, you were harmed by others. Su Jing arrived very quickly, driving Lu Fang's Lexus. Seeing me carrying 2 injured people, she quickly got out to help me. Why are there injuries? Do we need to go to the hospital? It was an accident, but it's not a big deal. I can handle it. After helping the injured into the back seat, I took out a few Snickers bars from the glove compartment and gave them to Qi Quan in the back. Replenish your energy. You must be tired. Qi Quan opened one and took a bite. My aunt's homestay is less than 2 kilometers from here. Su Jing exclaimed, "What a coincidence. The homestay I booked is right here too." It only took a few minutes to drive there. The Chinese-style homestay had a very quaint and charming small courtyard, complete with rockery landscaping. As soon as we entered, the front desk sister saw the unconscious Hu Cheng and the bloody Qi Quan and fearfully rushed to call the proprietress. The proprietress, around 30, had a round face and round eyes, with a warm and approachable demeanor that made people feel incredibly comfortable. "What happened? Did you get hurt right after going out? Quick, help them into a room. I'll get the first aid kit." After placing Hu Cheng on the bed, Qi Quan's wounds were disinfected, bandaged, and medicated. During this time, she cried and explained the incident to the proprietress. As soon as the proprietress finished listening, she knelt down, but I quickly helped her up. No, you're an elder. If you do this, I'll have my lifespan shortened," I joked. The proprietress wiped away her tears and said, "Thank you, young lady. You don't know my brother passed away early and I never married. The only child in my family is Quanquin. If anything happened to these 2 children, I wouldn't know how to face my sister-in-law." Her accent had a Northeast flavor, and I immediately knew she was a fellow countrywoman. In Northeast China, a daughter's status is undeniable. She's always number 1. "In that case, you and your classmates can stay here with me without worry. I'll arrange all your food, drinks, and entertainment." I quickly waved my hand. No need, Auntie. We'll stay for 2 days over the weekend, then return to the capital for school the day after tomorrow." Aunt Rong disagreed. "We're all from the same region from Haishi. Don't be so formal with me." I was caught between laughter and tears, so I could only agree, then took a few talismans from my backpack and handed them to her. This is a homestay, with many people coming and going every day. As a precaution, you can paste these at the entrance and exit. Aunt Rong smiled and accepted them. The next morning, after enjoying the lavish breakfast prepared by Aunt Rong, we planned to go surfing at the beach. Just as we put on our swimsuits, my phone rang. As soon as the call connected, Elder Zhuang's horrified voice came through. Press him, hold him down, tie him up with ropes. Hearing the chaos on his end, something must have happened again. Elder Zhuang anxiously pleaded, "Young master, would it be convenient for you to come to the Zhuang Family Opera House? Little Li has had another incident." Before I could answer, I heard someone shout, "Manager, Zhuo Xuan is also going crazy." The phone immediately hung up. I frowned, ditched my swimsuit, and slung my bag over my back. "I have something to do, I'm leaving first." Su Jing came over and asked in a low voice, "Is it about last night?" I nodded, and she also packed her belongings. "I'll go with you. We're both in the opera industry. We can be considered colleagues." Su Jing is a Na ritual inheritor, capable of inviting deities to possess her. The GPS showed that the Zhuang Family Opera Troupe was not far, about 20 minutes away. As we drove onto Jiancheng Road, we saw a sign with 4 characters carved on it, Zhuang Family Opera Garden. I was born with 6 senses different from ordinary people. Before even stepping into the garden, I faintly heard a woman crying inside. "I'll get off first, you grab the stuff." With that, I got out of the car and rushed over, pushing open the door. Chaos was everywhere. Over a dozen people lay on the ground, some tied to chairs, bound with thick ropes the size of fingers. The person tied up looked like Little Li, the actor who played the hanged ghost yesterday. At this moment, his face was ferocious, and he struggled violently, making strange, guttural sounds. Before I could get closer, another man rushed out, looking frenzied. He wore a dark red opera costume, his face paint smeared, a trail of fresh blood dripping from the corner of his mouth. He held a cleaver in his hand and walked towards Little Li, who was tied to the chair. He pinched his fingers into a hand seal and chanted a spell. "Invoke the great thunder god, strike down and suppress the void. Invoke thousands upon thousands of spirit soldiers, vanishing without a trace. Strong gods and evil ghosts who defy, shatter the fire with 5 thunders, vanish without a trace. I respectfully obey the command of the most exalted Lord Lao." The 5 thunders were activated, and a bolt of lightning struck the red costume from his palm. "Ah!" A piercing shriek mixed with a female voice rang out. The shadow of the man in the red costume vaguely reflected the shape of a woman with long hair and a slender waist. Struck by the 5 thunder charm, her spirit form became unstable, gradually separating from the human body. Seeing this, I began to form another hand seal. Disciple Jiang Fu invites the blade-wielding Prince Hu Tianshan. A disciple who wants to establish a spiritual path must have all 4 pillars and 8 beams. The 4 pillars are Hu Fox, Huang Weasel, Chang Snake, Mang Python, King Fang Green Wind. The 8 beams are Zhao, Han, Chuan, Hu, Tongshan, Gaidi, Guanai, Tamping. Neither can be missing. The blade-wielding prince is the commander responsible for leading the martial spirits. When a ghost possesses a person, it must first be expelled from the body and then captured to avoid harming the person. So Hu Tianshan was a step faster, catching the female ghost attempting to flee, holding her in his hand like a chicken. Should we interrogate her first, or send her directly to the underworld? I glanced at the man in the red opera costume, who was exhausted. Looking closer, I realized this was Zhuo Xuan, the one who had spoken rudely earlier. When the female ghost heard she was about to be sent to the underworld, she immediately struggled and screamed. "You can't send me to the underworld. I have a grievance to report." We also have an office here. After Su Jing brought in the items, we both cleaned up the mess and woke up the people on the ground. What was strange was that I didn't see Elder Zhuang. I looked at the female ghost. "Where is Elder Zhuang?" She cowered, not daring to look at me. "This has nothing to do with me. I didn't do it. Although I took advantage of Zhuo Xuan, I didn't control his every action." I don't believe in ghosts and spirits, but Zhuo Xuan really doesn't look like a good person either. Judging from his facial features, a narrow space between the eyebrows, goldfish eyes, sunken cheeks with no fleshies, typically a heartless and vicious person. I kick the person lying at my feet, my tone not at all gentle. Get up, don't pretend to be dead. I'm asking you, where is he? Zhuo Xuan tightly shut his eyes, as if he had fainted, but a slight furrow in his brow betrayed him. I scoffed. You're faking death, aren't you? Today I forgot to bring my acupuncture needles, so I'll use another tool to draw blood. I picked up the cleaver that had fallen on the ground. Grab a hand, cut it off. The next second, Zhuo Xuan, who was still feigning unconsciousness, jumped up. Dismembering people, dismembering people. Little Li, suddenly hearing his terrified cry, immediately became agitated, baring his teeth and howling at the man. There were traces of dried blood at the corners of his mouth, and his pupils were dilated as he stared at Zhuo Xuan. Unlike Zhuo Xuan, who was possessed by a ghost, Little Li's situation was not optimistic. 2 of his 3 spiritual souls and 3 of his 7 corporeal souls were missing, occupied by an external evil spirit, seemingly for a long time. I slammed the cleaver in my hand onto a solid wooden table, creating a crack, then placed a talisman to suppress evil on his forehead. Little Li, shut up. If you're still stubborn, I'll call the police. You don't want many people to know you're a criminal, do you? As soon as I said this, everyone was terrified. Someone fearfully asked him, What, Zhuo Xuan, did you dismember people? Zhuo Xuan frowned and retorted, I didn't, she's talking nonsense. I never dismembered anyone. Su Jing stood to the side, arms crossed, disdain evident. Who was holding a cleaver just now, intending to dismember someone? The way you held it didn't look like it was your first time. Zhuo Xuan stared at her fiercely, asking, What's wrong with you? I was possessed by a ghost just now. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Su Jing didn't let him off the hook. If it weren't for us, you'd either be at the police station or the morgue right now. You're still jumping around here. Do you know what you did? This kind of thing might fool people, but not ghost deities. Her words were right. I couldn't help but give her a thumbs up. As the proverb often says, if you do nothing against your conscience, you fear no knocking at your door by ghosts. As I said yesterday, your troupe is failing not because you violated rules, but because of people's crooked hearts. Everyone in the troupe seemed afraid of Zhuo Xuan. They all looked at each other, not daring to speak, which is why Zhuo Xuan was so confident. Don't try to confuse everyone with your lies. Nothing happened in our theater before yesterday. Only after you came did you cause trouble again and again. What the hell is going on? I think you're the one who did it. He spoke with increasing fervor, pointing at my nose and cursing. Don't think I don't know. Yuma Zioner practitioners love to deceive others, claiming there's a problem at the slightest touch. Who knows if you let some evil spirit cause trouble just to earn our offerings? I was truly infuriated to the point of laughter. This man was truly skilled at twisting black and white, but he seemed to have a thick skin, forgetting to scratch the itch. Sure enough, immediately after, the familiar crisp sound of a large shoe sole appeared on his face. I turned back and said something to Su Jing. She nodded and went outside. After bringing in a relatively clean chair, I calmly sat down and spoke slowly. Didn't you see it? Why are you still pretending? With such good acting skills, Elder Zhuang should make you the pillar of the troupe. Yesterday, I noticed that Zhuo Xuan's eyes could see those things. However, it doesn't seem to be yin-yang eyes, but rather that his eyes were charmed by something on the way to reincarnation. I pointed at the female ghost kneeling on the ground. Don't you know her? I think she's quite familiar with you. Zhuo Xuan glanced at her, immediately denying it. No, I don't know her. I smiled. Just now I said there were no ghosts. Now isn't this self-incrimination without even being beaten? The female ghost was no longer pleased and was about to stand up, ignoring the spiritual being's restraint. You said you don't know me, Zhuo Xuan? 27 years old, born on the 15th day of the lunar calendar in 1997, performed the ritual drama for the dead at LH52 at the Hour of the Ox in Qinhuangdao Port District, Hebei Province. In late October 2023, you and I met and fell in love on Beidei Beach. In July this year, I found out I was pregnant. Last month you even said you'd take me home to meet your parents, but then you turned around and fell in love with another girl. After hearing the full birth information, I immediately began to calculate with my fingers. After calculating, I saw that Zhuo Xuan truly matched his face. A destiny of disaster, a year pillar with the 7 killing star, a month pillar with the solitary star and hooking amulet, and flying demon 3 consecutive malevolent stars. The solitary star, also known as the lonely star or heartless star, appearing in the year and month pillars, signifies a lack of close relatives. The hooking amulet, also known as the entanglement star, implies connections and binding, symbolizing misfortunes and ups and downs in life's journey. If one encounters either the solitary star or hooking amulet, the misfortune will be lighter. If both are encountered, the misfortune will be heavier. If one encounters a ghost, one will basically die. Simply put, the flying demon star is one of the malevolent stars in the 8 characters and symbolizes the death of parents. And this man's fate chart was truly unique. The day pillar contained the Taiji star, disaster star, morning gate, heavenly virtue, monthly virtue, yin error, and 9 provinces. Among them, the Taiji star, heavenly virtue, and monthly virtue are all auspicious stars. But evil outweighed good. The disaster star meeting the morning gate signifies the death of his father. Yin error in the father's position symbolizes an unhappy marriage. If yin error or yang error appears, the marriage will not be smooth. And coincidentally, if one carries the 9 provinces, it means there are improper, distorted, or ambiguous relationships. A man born with the 9 provinces' fate will be ugly and have no good ending. Just then, Su Jing helped Elder Zhuang return, looking very formidable. This beast actually hanged someone in the backyard. How can an old man like this endure it? Elder Zhuang's lips were pale, and his body was still trembling. Zhuo Xuan was initially speechless, but his face immediately changed when he saw Elder Zhuang. You're. I pursed my lips. Now that everyone was present, I went straight to the point. This Zhuo Xuan usually craves big achievements, likes grand projects, is easy to talk to, but is also autocratic and enjoys bullying others. Hearing me say this, he immediately stood up to attack, but was held back by a few people behind him, only able to glare furiously at me. I ignored him and continued. Your fate is destined to carry the flying demon and morning gate stars. You're destined to lose your father. Your father passed away in 2018. Your mother's health is not good, but your family is well off, so you've lived a comfortable life. He said nothing. Elder Zhuang nodded repeatedly. Yes, young master is completely right. My brother-in-law indeed passed away in early 2018. After that, my nephew became a different person. No one could control him. That's his true nature. But before, he was suppressed by his father and didn't reveal his true nature. To be frank, your nephew is inherently evil. This actually has nothing to do with the 8 characters. Fate is just the beginning, and everything depends on his nature. Small evils don't change, but great evils are hidden in the heart. If I'm not mistaken, you're the one who killed her child, aren't you? I asked the female ghost. She gasped and nodded. Yes, he initially said he wanted to take me to meet his parents. At that time, I was very happy. When I got home, I told my parents. They weren't very happy to hear it. They originally didn't agree to us being together, but because of the issue between me and the child, they reluctantly agreed. But I didn't expect. The female ghost lowered her head, wiping away tears. He lied to me. He said his mother had agreed to our marriage and was still preparing for the wedding. He also said that his uncle had never married or had children. This theater would sooner or later belong to him. As a result, just as I was preparing to meet him to go for a prenatal checkup, that day I saw him bring a girl into the theater and lead her backstage, even sitting on the makeup box. Little Li kindly reminded her not to sit there. As a result, Zhuo Xuan kicked him to the ground. He also warned him not to interfere in his private affairs, or he'd be kicked out. After that, he occasionally came to bully Little Li. Many people in the troupe knew about this. Zhuo Xuan is the manager's nephew. I looked in fear at the people standing outside the door. Indeed, fawning over and bullying the weak is human nature. No one wants to offend the future owner. Yang Yugen continued to write. The manager's nephew could see me. Knowing I wanted to help Little Li, he secretly found a Taoist priest to capture me. It turns out this Taoist priest was a liar. He was scammed out of over 20,000. Then, Elder Zhuang built a new theater and wanted to demolish the stage, so he took this opportunity to recommend Little Li to play the hanged ghost and himself to play the celestial general. He was borrowing this stage to use Little Li to attract lingering spirits. He thought that by doing this, he could transfer the misfortune to Little Li. I remained silent. How could things like karma be transferred? Watching too many ghost movies, thinking that sacrificing a teammate could avert disaster? After writing, Yang Yugeng knelt down and begged me. You must help little Li. He even thought about hanging himself before. I don't want him to end up like me. That year, he also wanted to save himself. After reading what Yang Yugeng wrote, Elder Zhuang remained silent for a long time. He looked even more dejected. It's all our fault. If we had discovered these things sooner, it wouldn't have come to this. The remaining people hung their heads in shame. I didn't comment much on such people, only discussed with him, preparing more gold and silver ingots, spirit money, incense, and candles. Now let's do all we can. The offerings were divided into 3 parts. 1 part for Yang Yugeng, 1 part for the female ghost Li Wen and her unborn child. Because this was my first time writing an index, I was still a little unfamiliar with it. Li Wen committed suicide, so she cannot enter reincarnation. She needs to exhaust her Yang lifespan before she can reincarnate. As for Yang Yugeng, although he also hanged himself, his Yang lifespan had long been depleted, but he felt that being human wasn't good for anything. It's better to become a free wind. Starting from today at 9:00 p.m. every day, have little Li lie on the bed with the door wide open. Take a set of clothes he usually wears, stand at the door, hit it once with a rolling pin and shout, Li Yaoran, come home. Then ask, are you home yet? Ask a total of 3 times, and he should respond each time. Then dress him in his clothes and close the door tightly for the night. Do this continuously for 7 days and his soul can return. The frightened infant soul can then be recalled with an incantation. However, this process would be a bit more complicated. It was mainly because I didn't have much time to stay here, so I chose a commonly used folk method. In the evening, waiting for the substitute doll that had been ordered in similar proportions. Because the closest substitute was Renwu, with the heavenly stem Ren belonging to water and the earthly branch Wu belonging to fire. Water is black, and fire is red, so the substitute's clothes were black on top and red on the bottom. The Ganjai is a system for calculating hours, days, months, and years in the ancient lunar calendar. Ganjai has 10 heavenly stems, Jia, Yi, Bing, Ding, Wu, Jai, Zhang, Xin, Ren, Gui, and 12 earthly branches, Zai, Chu, Yin, Mao, Chen, Si, Wu, Wei, Shen, Yu, Su, Hai. I also pulled 7 strands of little Li's hair and placed them on the substitute's head. The earthly branch Wu corresponds to the south direction. I wrote a petition and asked Elder Zhuang to take it to the south and burn it. Generally, the best person to burn the substitute is an uncle or father's elder brother. The word Chu is homophonous with salvation and has a good meaning. The final rites were performed by Su Jing. She donned her Na ritual costume and put on a mask. As she began to sing and dance, a mystical religious dance unfolded before everyone. When people encounter difficulties, there will be Na. When Na is performed, natural disasters and epidemics will be avoided. Invite Na to eliminate calamities and bring good fortune. Under the sun, it was as if a true deity had descended. I always thought that Na performance wasn't much different from opera, except Na involved more shamanistic rituals. It wasn't until later, when I encountered a truly difficult case, that I realized how powerful Su Jing was. But that was later. Elder Zhuang gave me 10,000 yuan as an offering. I gave Su Jing 5,000 yuan. She wouldn't take it. I didn't help much. You did all the work. At the end, I just performed the blessing ritual. I directly told her, when you work with me, you get half. That's my rule. Last time Lu Feng gave you compensation, so I didn't split it with you. If you don't take it, then we're not acquainted. If anything happens in the future, I won't call you. At this, she accepted it and smiled, pulling me close. All right, I won't be formal with you anymore. Li Wen's parents placed her memorial tablet at the Xuanzhen temple near their home, and little Li also wanted to do one for Yang Yugeng. Elder Zhuang would pay for it. Because we had run off to work and didn't get to swim, Aunt Rong, the homestay owner, specially took us to Beidei for a day of fun. We played until our entire bodies were covered in sand, and even my breath smelled like seawater. During this time, the dragon tablet I wore on my person moved a few times. The white dragon king inside raced out and swirled in the sea. Fortunately, he was a spiritual entity, and most people couldn't see him. Su Jing was able to better understand the significance of a dragon going to sea and swimming for 9 days. She was so excited that she kept shouting, "Oh, oh," making those around think something was wrong with her. She pulled me, her face full of excitement. The white dragon king is so handsome. What's his name? It's a pity humans and immortals don't have a destiny together. I cannot blaspheme the divine. Ao Kue, speak softer. He'll hear you, and then his temper will flare up. Su Jing made a zipping motion over her mouth. I understand, I understand. Finally, it was time to go back, but the big guy, Ao Kue, refused to leave. All right, you can stay here. I'll go back to the capital alone. Ao Kue hesitated for a long time before reluctantly retracting into the dragon tablet. At 7:00 p.m., after finishing our seafood dinner, we drove back to the capital. Before leaving, Aunt Rong packed bag after bag of specialties. These are all our local products, all shipped from northeast China. Various dried fruits, beef jerky brought back from Inner Mongolia for snacks. Come back when you have time, I'll be waiting for you. We arrived at school past 11:00 p.m. Lu Fang and Guan Lingling were both still awake. Seeing Su Jing and me carrying so many bags, they rushed over to help. Lu Fang opened a pack of beef jerky and started chewing. You haven't been here for 2 days, so Lingling and I came to your place to change the offerings. I had rented an apartment outside for my spiritual practice and went there weekly to pay respects. I had given Lu Fang the key when I left. As a result, Huang Qiuqiu ran to me and said, "That little girl Lu Fang is really thoughtful." She gave 3 roast ducks and 3 roast chickens to Huang Jiling. He ate until his mouth was oily and his belly got much bigger. As she spoke, she still had a large chicken drumstick in her mouth. Did she mean I was stingy? Guan Lingling came to our dorm a week ago. On the day she arrived, a small, furry fox lay at her feet, in its spiritual form, of course. Guan Lingling said, "This is a little fox I brought down from Wutai Mountain. My grandma said that it and I have a special connection, so it followed me." Guan Lingling's grandmother was a spiritual medium. Lu Fang couldn't see the fox, so it didn't affect her. Every time she returned to the dorm, she brought back a lot of delicious food. Afterwards, the little fox visibly became rounder. It was very attached and almost inseparable from Guan Lingling, even going to class together. Fortunately, I had many spiritual beings around me. When there was nothing else to do, Huang Qiuqiu and Huang Jiling would play with it, like taking care of a baby. Seeing this scene, Guan Lingling was a little moved. I thought I was abnormal. Luckily, you're here. I can understand her thoughts. Actually, it's good that you treat it like family. This is a rare destiny. Just like when we embarked on our spiritual path, there are many immortal beings behind us. Our personal messengers have followed us since childhood and have never left our protectors. Little Jiu is the same. Little Jiu is its name. Su Jing also said, although we don't worship deities, when we pray to them, we still feel an inexplicable sense of closeness. This bond seems to be deeply ingrained in our souls. Lu Fang was displeased. So, am I the only normal one in the whole dorm? I'm not going to bother with you guys anymore. A few more days passed, and it was almost the Mid-Autumn Festival. My mother called. The Mid-Autumn Festival is the day after tomorrow. Are you coming home to celebrate? If you come, I'll prepare some roast chicken. I've already booked my flight. I'll be home tomorrow morning. I'm bringing a classmate with me. She wants to visit our Northeast. Tomorrow, I'll take her to Harbin for a day, then come back to celebrate the festival. My mother was overjoyed as soon as she heard. All right, your father has made braised ribs and is waiting for you to come back. You can also bring your friends home to celebrate the festival together. Since they came all this way, we must arrange everything well. I smiled and hung up, then returned to the dorm to pack my luggage. On the way, I received another call from Elder Zhuang. He seemed to have aged 10 years overnight. Zhuo Xuan is gone. He had a sudden myocardial infarction last night. It was indeed very sudden. He hadn't even made it through a week. Things like fate can actually be changed as long as you don't do evil. Lu Fang went home to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival. Her aunt, who had been missing for many years, was found. This was the first reunion festival her family had celebrated. Su Jing wanted to return to Northeast China with me, but she wanted to visit her uncle's house during the holiday. Her uncle lived in Kaiyang district. Since Guan Lingling had no relatives in the capital, she said she wanted to visit Northeast China. Isn't Harbin tourism very popular lately? I've wanted to go there for a long time. Okay, I'll take you back. There were many people during the Mid-Autumn Festival, but it would be complete with 11 people. Guan Lingling wore a yellow dress, but I stopped her. Don't wear bright clothes, especially yellow clothes. Northeast China is full of mosquitoes now. They're small flying insects. They like bright clothes the most and will cling to you everywhere. She listened to the advice and immediately changed into a dark outfit. Mid-Autumn Festival, you come to Northeast China with me. For National Day, I'll take you to Fujian to play. I immediately agreed without thinking. All right, that's all for now. If you enjoyed it, please give a like and subscribe to Chillify for encouragement. Thank you sincerely for your time listening. I wish everyone great prosperity.